The girl's pen fell down by accident. When she was about to pick it up under her seat, the girl's name is Guangxi. She is the only lucky person in the car. When she saw the scene in front of her, she was particularly terrified. But the fact proved that it was not the end. She only saw a large number of leaves on the road. It's like a devil came to her. The wires on the side of the road were also broken. Guangxi was scared to death. He hurriedly got off the car and kept running on the road. But the leaves still didn't let him go. The leaves gathered in a group under the wind. They followed Guangxi until 4 classmates appeared. Guangxi was worried that they were in danger. He kept reminding them to squat down. However, when they reacted, it was too late. Fortunately, under Guangxi's protection, a girl survived. But the next second, she died on the spot because of her negligence. Guangxi realized that the wind had not let go of his pursuit. He kept running until he came to the creek. He took a break. Looking at the bodies and debris all over the place, Guangxi changed into a new suit. He washed his face and continued on the road. But what he didn't expect was a strange thing. With the appearance of a large number of classmates, Guangxi found a familiar face. They were all Guangxi's classmates. They were also the people who died on the bus a few minutes ago. Guangxi looked at them with fear. He couldn't believe his best friend Xiaoqiu was still alive. However, at this time, the sound of the wind came over again and again. Guangxi felt very uneasy. He took a big step and ran to the teaching building. Then he told everything that had just happened to Xiaoqiu one by one. Guangxi told Xiaoqiu that the wind killed a lot of girls and cut off their waists. He said that Guangxi's emotions were excited again. Looking at Guangxi, Xiaoqiu was warm and comforted. He opened the window to prove to Guangxi that the wind had no ability to harm him. Guangxi held back his fear and breathed in the air outside the window. Xiaoqiu also offered to relieve Guangxi's emotions and take him for a walk. Guangxi agreed. In this way, Guangxi and 3 of his friends came to the lake to play together. They shouted loudly and made a lot of noise. At first, Guangxi really thought what had happened before was just a nightmare. He played a pillow fight with them at random.
He watched countless goose feathers scatter in the air. When Guangxi was immersed in this happiness, he found his finger bleeding. Guangxi didn't realize it. He thought he was careless and continued to join the game. However, the girl next to him said a long sentence. "Don't lose to shore. Life is always sure. If you can't get back to shore, you'll lose." The words of the girl made people confused. Xiaoqiu didn't care so much and took Guangxi back to the classroom. The teacher was teaching in the classroom. Guangxi found a pillow on the ground. He recognized it at a glance. This is the pillow they made by themselves by the river. However, when Guangxi was confused, in the next second, the teacher raised his hand and ran. Like crazy, he shot the classmates. Fortunately, at the last moment, the girl took Guangxi out. The 3 hid in the classroom, shivering, but the teacher still found them. The teacher was so angry and stared at them. The long-haired girl wanted to run away, but she was kicked by the teacher. Then in the next second, she shot him again. The long-haired girl fell to the ground and died. The braid girl wanted to take this opportunity to leave with Guangxi, but who knew she was found by the teacher? The teacher shot the braid girl. The braid girl fell to the ground. When she died, she told Guangxi that this world is a super realistic world, so don't lose to the super realistic world. Guangxi didn't know why, but what he could do now was to keep running to keep himself safe. Many classmates kept running to the school, and those teachers became demons one after another. They all ran and kept shooting at their classmates. It seemed that only after seeing them die did the teachers get excited. At this time, the playground was in a mess. One by one, they all died in their hands. Guangxi realized that he had to find a way to escape, but before he could make a decision, a terrible wind appeared again and even cut off several classmates around him. The same fear Guangxi experienced twice. It's hard to imagine how frightened he was at the moment. He could only keep running until he came to the police station. He told the police what had just happened. Guangxi told the police that he could hear the screams of others' death, but the police took Guangxi back to his room. He claimed that he was a chess piece. They even knew each other. Guangxi saw what he looked like now. Looking at the strange face in the mirror, Guangxi was terrified. He didn't know what had happened, but he didn't wait for him to react. The police took Guangxi to the car and sent him to the church door. Suddenly, a group of women appeared and surrounded him enthusiastically. Guangxi was still confused, so in order to figure out the situation, he got out of the car and wanted to find out the truth. But the woman urged him to come to the church and saw Xiaoqiu in a wedding dress. For Xiaoqiu's sudden appearance, Guangxi seemed to have found a way to save his life. He held Xiaoqiu's hand and wanted to say something. "I know what you're thinking. This place is dangerous, okay?" But Xiaoqiu pressed Guangxi down. Guangxi sat on the chair. He didn't know what he was facing. He didn't even know he was getting married today. Even when Guangxi saw the wedding dress he was about to wear, He was full of anxiety and panic. Fortunately, Xiaoqiu took the other people out in time. This gave the two people a chance to talk. Xiaoqiu comforted Guangxi and told him that now he was not only Guangxi, but also Qi. But because too many things happened during this time, Xiaoqiu couldn't tell them one by one. Until now, he can only let Guangxi follow his instructions. After doing these things, he can tell the truth. After hearing these words, Guangxi cooperated obediently. He wore a wedding dress and a headscarf. But what surprised him was that in the next second, Xiaoqiu was like a different person. After solving these people one by one, Xiaoqiu guided Guangxi to let him kill people in his own way, because only in this way can he escape. Although Guangxi didn't know why, he still listened to Xiaoqiu's words. He held the beer bottle tightly in his hand and walked into the wedding church as he wished. Under the urge of everyone, Guangxi walked forward step by step. However, in the next second, everyone's blessings became the sound of cursing. They kept throwing rotten leaves at Guangxi. They not only tore up Guangxi's wedding dress, but also forced him to kiss his so-called husband in public. Looking at the bloody pig's head, Guangxi couldn't help it. He picked up the beer bottle and inserted it into the pig's head. As the blood spurted out, Guangxi's murderous intent also gradually emerged. He saw one kill one until Xiaoqiu came to him. Xiaoqiu wanted to leave with Guangxi in the midst of the chaos. However, two black women blocked the way for the two of them. Obviously, the four of them were ready to fight. They immediately entered the endless killing mode. Fortunately, Guangxi and the two of them raised their swords. After quickly solving the two of them, they came to the empty street. But the fact is that this game of killing is not over. Xiaoqiu attracted the fire and let Guangxi leave quickly. But what surprised Guangxi was that he met a stranger who claimed to be a familiar on the way and told Guangxi that he was Xiao Quan now. Guangxi came to the mirror and not only found that he had changed his appearance again, but even the wedding dress had become Tianjing Fu. Guangxi realized that at this moment, he was following his companion to participate in the Tianjing competition. But when they were running towards the finish line, a pig's head man suddenly appeared behind them. He kept killing and following Guangxi, and in order to avoid him, Guangxi wanted to run to the finish line through the alley. Unexpectedly, as the path became more and more strange, Guangxi suddenly found himself at the entrance of the cave and found a girl here. The girl ran over enthusiastically and then took Guangxi's hand and brought her into the cave. Looking at dozens of corpses behind the girl, Guangxi was scared and stood there. He subconsciously wanted to run away, but the girl told him that as long as he was alive, all the girls would die one after another. The girl rushed out and wanted to kill Guangxi. Fortunately, Xiaoqiu suddenly appeared and solved the girl and took Guangxi out. Xiaoqiu has been asking Guangxi to keep saying his name, and Guangxi's face has changed back to his original appearance. Now that Guangxi has regained consciousness, Xiaoqiu will also tell the truth hidden in it. It turns out that this world is not a real world, but a world shrouded in bad things. As the only protagonist in this world, if Guangxi can't return to his original world, not only himself, but everyone will be killed by these bad things. The only way to escape is to kill Xiaoqiu and find the exit. Guangxi forced Xiaoqiu to pull the string out of his body, and with his death, the real escape exit was opened. Guangxi followed the light and walked out step by step. Although he returned to the real world, the strange thing is that he saw his face in the poster on the side. There are also 6 big words on it, which means it's a demon game. Guangxi stood still, and then he passed out again the next second. When he woke up again, he found himself back in that cave again, and there was a corpse in every hole. There were girls in school uniforms, girls in field uniforms, and girls in wedding dresses. This also verified what Guangxi had experienced. Guangxi didn't understand until a white-haired man appeared. The man told Guangxi that he was actually dead long ago. It was he who repaired the DNA of Guangxi and his friend, and thus created this real demon game. All of a sudden, Guangxi was shocked. However, when he was about to accept his fate, he suddenly thought of what the girl had said by the lake. Guangxi sat up and kept venting his emotions. In the end, he killed himself and ended this cruel cycle of fate.